Ever wondered how America's foreign policy messed the world, or more specifically the fate of other nations? Picture a vast, invisible web extending from the United States to every corner of the globe. This web, spun by the unseen hand of American intervention, has left indelible marks on numerous nations. It's an intricate dance of power, influence, and often unintended consequences. A dance led by the U.S. with the world as its stage. Intrigued? Let's journey through time to understand the depth of this impact. Our chronicle begins in the 19th century with America's intervention in Mexico and Spain. The 19th century was a time of expansion and exploration for the United States. It was during this time that America first intervened in Mexico during the Mexican-American War in the mid-1800s. The war was primarily about territorial disputes, but also had roots in economic interests and political ideology. Next, we move to the Spanish-American War at the close of the 19th century. Here, America intervened ostensibly for humanitarian reasons, responding to Spain's harsh colonial rule in Cuba. Yet the intervention also served to expand America's influence in the Caribbean and Pacific. As we move into the 20th century, the list of countries where America has intervened grows longer. There was the Philippines, where America sought to civilize and Christianize the islands after the Spanish-American War. Then came interventions in Latin America, such as in Nicaragua and Cuba, often under the guise of the Monroe Doctrine, which sought to keep European powers out of the Americas. In the middle of the 20th century, we see America's involvement in Asia with the Korean and Vietnam Wars. These interventions were shaped by the Cold War and the fear of the spread of communism. Fast forward to the close of the 20th century and the start of the 21st, we witness America's interventions in the Middle East, primarily in Iraq and Afghanistan. These interventions, often justified as part of the War on Terror, have been deeply controversial and have led to long-lasting conflicts. From economic interests to political ideology and even humanitarian causes, the reasons for these interventions are varied, yet they all share one common thread: the projection of American power and influence. So whether it's Latin America in the 1900s, Asia in the 1950s and 60s, or the Middle East in the 2000s, the footprint of American intervention is vast and far-reaching. As we can see, the sweep of America's influence spans across continents and centuries. These interventions are not without consequences, both intended and unintended. Like tossing a stone into a pond, American interventions send ripples through the nations they touch, sometimes bringing about changes that were never part of the initial plan. In some countries, the American presence has facilitated the spread of democratic ideals. Governments have been encouraged to adopt more transparent practices, allowing their citizens a greater say in the matters that shape their lives. This is an undoubtedly positive outcome, a beacon of hope in nations where such concepts were once foreign. But it's not all rosy. Let's consider the economic impact. While some nations have seen economic development, others have been left grappling with the fallout from destabilized markets and sectors. The sudden influx of foreign aid or investment can create dependency, stifling local industries and skewing economic balance. Then there's the political instability. Often in the wake of American intervention, power vacuums emerge. These voids can be filled by individuals or groups with their own agendas, leading to political unrest and sometimes sparking conflict. And we can't ignore the social unrest. The displacement of people, the rise in crime rates, the deepening of societal divisions, these are all part and parcel of the ripple effects of intervention. The ripple effects of America's foreign policy decisions are far-reaching, altering the course of history for many nations. The stone is tossed, the ripples spread, and the pond is never quite the same again. So, what does this mean for the world and for America itself? As we've journeyed through the unseen hand of America's global interventions, we've discovered the historical footprint left behind. These interventions, driven by various reasons, have had wide-ranging impacts, some positive, others less so. From the Middle East to South America, the influence of America has permeated borders, shaping societies and altering the course of history. The motivations behind these actions have been complex, ranging from the pursuit of economic interests to the spread of democracy to the containment of perceived threats. Yet the ripple effects of these interventions have been profound. They have transformed nations, altered geopolitical landscapes, and influenced lives in countless ways. This narrative invites reflection. It's a call to form your own opinions, to question, to understand. It's a reminder of the power that nations wield and the responsibility that comes with it. America's foreign policy is a powerful force that shapes the world. As we move forward, it's crucial to remember the lessons of the past and consider the potential impacts of future interventions. Be sure to hit that like or subscribe button and keep being curious, beautiful, and continue learning. Check out some of my other videos and keep staying curious.